as we do every year, we review with our competition committee all of the rules in the mock trial case file, and we revisit them to see if anything needs changed, and we update them from year to year. So this is a summary of that information. All of the information in its entirety can be found in the case file when that goes out. So high school mock trial rule change summary, I'm going to start. This is in no particular order. I'm just going to summarize these as we go through, and I have referenced each page number and rule where these changes can be found, so you will be able to more thoroughly read all of these when you receive your case file. So the first thing to note is we have updated the materials rule violation and gross rules violation. We've just redefined what each type of these violations mean, and we've clarified the distinction between the two, and we've also clarified the procedure for the judging panel to follow if a violation is alleged. So you can find that more thoroughly spelled out in competition rule 7B 1 through 2 on page 23. So that's where we have it all changed, but just know that it has been updated and clarified. In conjunction with that, we've clarified the complaint process, which is also found on page 23, and you can find that update on the official complaint form as well. No major changes, it's just been clarification and updating some of the language so it more clearly explains the process. We've revisited this each year a little bit, and we're trying to get as clear as we can. So we have updated the advancement procedure for situations where no team wins both trials at districts or regionals. So that is not a very common occurrence, but we have a procedure for when that does happen. If there is a district or a regional competition where no team wins both trials, we will take a look at all of the teams who have a 1-to-1 record, and then we will calculate the percentage of ballots won, and that will be used to determine who advances. If there is a tie in the percentage of ballots won, out of those people who have tied, or out of those teams who have tied, we will take the number of attorney and witness awards, and that will be the determining factor. And if a tie persists, at that point, all teams will be advanced to the next level. So that's competition rule on page 15. So you can find both of those on that page. All right, so let's go on. We have updated the procedure for drawing up at the state competition when more teams are needed to go into day 2. So if it happens where we don't have enough, we don't have 8 teams, we have updated the procedure. This is really spelled out very clearly in the case file, so I'm just going to briefly explain the process, but please be sure to check your case file when you get this. We have updated it to remain consistent with the rest of the competition rules, so what we just kind of discussed with percentage of ballots, attorney and witness awards as our first and second lines of determining who will go on. But do look at the chart and the explanation found on page 16, because that more thoroughly explains everything, and it's a lot easier to visualize in chart format than it would be for me to explain it verbally. So page 16 is where you can find that information. And there, we've updated the procedure for drawing pairings during the quarterfinals at the state competition. It's just a really brief update, so nothing major to that, but you can find that change on page 17. And lastly, I believe this is lastly, we have updated the rule regarding teams from the same school facing each other at the district competition. So this is a significant change from how we have operated in past years. And so these are directly quoted, but you can find these competition rules on page 15. At the district level, teams will be matched at random, with the exception that schools with a total of 2 teams shall not be paired against themselves. Any team from a school with a total of 3 or more teams across all competition sites could be randomly matched against another team from that school. All teams will be matched at random at the regional and state competitions with no exceptions. So again, this is a significant change from how we have operated in the past, so please make sure that you go to page 15 and read the rules in their entirety and review everything that we've updated in the case file. So let me pause now and take a moment to make sure that we have clarified everything in terms of the updated rules.
And just something that we want to clarify too, as we present these, we're kind of operating on a dual track this year because our competition committee met to look at rules for the competition as a whole, as we do every single year. We recognize that the virtual format we're pursuing this year might impact some of the rules in the case file. So we're going to clarify basically that in any situation where the virtual specific rules do not address the situation, the normal rules prevail. In any situation where the virtual rules conflict with other rules in the case file, the virtual rules will take precedent. So we have to think about the longevity of the program for a time when we are someday hopefully all able to be back together in person again. And so for that reason, the rules in the case file are standard rules that apply across the program generally. And this afternoon, we're talk about some of the specifics that the virtual format brings into this competition.
Yes, thank you, Ryan. And I have that spelled out in the virtual competition format guidelines. And when we go through that presentation this afternoon, I have that all explained as well. I have it in a document. We'll have it in the PowerPoint during the presentation, but definitely remember that the virtual rules will take precedent where there's conflict. And then if the virtual rules do not address a particular situation, refer to the standard competition rules. We'll spell that out as well.